Good morning, third graders of Louisiana Schnell Elementary School. This is Mrs. Friedberg coming to you from Virtual 4B. I'm excited that I get to teach all of third grade today about connections in text. So the things that you're going to need this morning are your spending time and money benchmark reader and your worksheets that say benchmark spending time and money. Don't worry if yours says Mrs. Johnson or Mrs. Smith's. We all have the same worksheets. You're also going to need something to write with, so go and get those handy. As we get started, we are going to turn in our worksheet to page 6. And it has a picture of flour, corn, and some honey down at the bottom. And you're also going to turn in your book to page 7. Then we're going to be ready to go. So today I am very fortunate in teaching you about text connections. And there's lots of different ways that texts connect with us. It could be text to self, text to text, text to others. So we're going to figure out what type of purpose this text is telling us about. We are first going to reread paragraphs 5 and 6 of Let It Grow, the booming business of farmers markets. Then we're going to annotate words and phrases that show sequence. And I'm going to underline sequence because that is really what we're looking for today. Then we're going to complete the chart with the signal words, and then tell what the purpose is for each. So set this worksheet aside and let's reread paragraph 5 on page 7. So remember, we are going to keep our eyes and ears open for words that list sequencing. And in this book, when we annotate sequencing, we list them by numbers and circling them. So let's read along. Read with me as I read aloud. So how does a farmer's market work? Early in the morning, trucks arrive at the local plaza or designated spot. The trucks are packed with countless fruits, vegetables, and other fresh goods. First, the farmers park their trucks. Next, they begin to unload their produce. Before we read on, there is definitely some sequencing that's going on in here. The first thing that I saw was up here, number 1. I'm going to even underline it, early in the morning. Maybe time of day. They're not talking about as the sun sets. This is definitely early in the morning. And then as we read along, I know you see these sequencing words. They really stick out. First and next. We use those quite a bit. Those are the 3 that we're going to identify in this paragraph. Now, turn to page 8, and let's look at paragraph 6. The farmers then arrange their produce on spotless stands, and once the produce is displayed, the farmers hang out signs. The signs list their produce and the prices. So there are 2 in here that we're going to find. And these sequencing words don't always stand out as much as next and first. This one is then. So here's going to be another sequencing, and I'm going to start it with number 1 because it's a new paragraph. And then once the produce is displayed, because that is telling us when something is happening. So in sequencing, we want to know when things are happening. So now that we have our notes for paragraphs 5 and 6, let's turn back to page 7 and grab our worksheet. And we are going to write and fill in our chart. So the first words or phrases that show sequence in paragraph 5 are early in the morning. So I'm going to write that in. Early in the morning. And what does that tell us? What's the purpose of early in the morning? So its purpose might be that it begins the sequence of events as the farmers set up their stalls. So it begins the sequence of events as farmers set up their stalls. Great. And remember, as you're watching this video, if you feel I'm going too fast for you, just go ahead and pause and take your time. The next one in paragraph 5 is first. And what it's telling us is these are the first things that happen in the market. Well, what's the first thing that happens in the market? The farmers park their trucks. Farmers park their trucks. Then let's go down to our next word, which is next. Next kind of starts connecting what happens first to what's going to happen second and third. And so next, they begin to unload their produce. So with next, it tells us that at first they were parking their trucks, and now they are unloading their produce. So connecting it with what happened before. So it is telling us what happened before was, let's see, what happened previously ELA is the trucks parking excellent. And in this, it says what they do next is unload their produce. Excellent. Let's turn now to page 8. So the next word that we circled was then. And let's reread it. The farmers then arranged their produce on the spotless stand. So this is linking what they are doing after they unload their trucks. This links the previous sentence and tells what the farmers or what they do after unloading. And the last words that we found, or the last sequence that we found, was once the produce is displayed. So once the produce is displayed, so this is pretty specific. Its purpose is to tell us what happens when the produce is displayed. So its purpose is to tell what happens after they display the produce. Now, this might come as pretty straightforward to many of you, but it's often that we don't really think of what the real meaning of what first, next, and then are really actually describing, or why we are putting it there. Because really the purpose is why we are putting those words in the paragraph. Looking at the bottom, it says, what happens just before the farmers hang up their signs? Once the produce is displayed, the farmers hang up their signs. So they arrange the produce on the stands, they park their trucks, they become salespeople, they unload the produce. What do you think? Looking back in here, what might be the answer? Well, they use a little bit different phrasing here. To arrange means also to place. So if we look here that they display the produce, arrange and display are synonyms, and I would circle the letter A. Third graders, it has been a pleasure. Good luck and have fun learning.